Welcome to the OARDC Chemical Inventory System training video. This video will help familiarize you with the basic features of the system. The OARDC Chemical Inventory System is web-based. Open a web browser such as Firefox or Internet Explorer and type the following in the address box: oardc.osu.edu/cheminv and press Enter. At this point, your web browser will be redirected to a page which will ask you for your OSU name.number username and password. This username and password is the same as what you use for your OSU email account and various other OSU systems. Once you've entered your username and password, click the Login button. On your first login, you will not have access to any rooms. You will first need to request access to each of the rooms that you would like to manage. Multiple people can manage rooms, so you may not be the only person adding chemicals to a room. To request access to a room, click on the link that says Request Permission to Manage a Room. You will need to select the building, and then your department, and the specific room or rooms you need access to. Once you have done this and click the Send Request button, you will have to wait for the safety officer of your department to approve the request. When the request has been approved or declined, you will receive an email indicating this. You will then be able to log in and manage the rooms you have access to. Once you have logged in after you have permission to manage a room, you will see a listing of the rooms you may manage chemicals in. Select the room you would like to manage to start the process. The purpose of this site is to maintain your chemical inventory for the various rooms you work in. This information is stored in a central database that can be accessed by safety officers for federal, state, and local reporting purposes, and by the fire department in case of an emergency. Chloe will be able to open a socket and send all of this information to Jack's smartphone in times of national emergency. You will also be able to print out a report that will fulfill the requirements of Appendix A of the Chemical Hygiene Plan. We have provided two ways to add chemicals to the inventory. If you already have a spreadsheet of your inventory, you will want to download an example spreadsheet and copy your existing inventory data over in this format to upload it to the site. However, if you don't have this or don't have many chemicals, it would be easiest to add chemicals one by one. The system already includes a database of over 28,000 chemicals with CAS numbers and NFPA codes included. When you start to type your chemical name, it will start a search of the database and present a listing of chemicals already in the system. If your chemical is present, then select it and press the Tab key, or click in the CAS number field. This will then enter the CAS number and NFPA codes automatically, saving you the time to look up this information for each chemical. The required information for each chemical is the chemical name, container count, initial amount per container, and units. These are marked with red asterisks as a reminder that these fields are required. Once you have your chemical inventory entered into the system, you can view the information several ways. 1. You can view a partial report in a web page which will link the chemical name and CAS number to a search of the MSDS archive that is maintained at ciri.org. When you are looking at this report, you can search by chemical name to quickly find chemicals in the list. 2. You can download all of the data in CSV spreadsheet format. And 3. Finally, you can download the information in a format to print that will fulfill the requirements of Appendix A of your Chemical Hygiene Plan. When you have exhausted the supply of your chemical, you will need to go in and click on the Edit Remove Chemicals in Room link to update your inventory. You can check the box next to each item that needs deleted and click the Delete Multiple Records button at the bottom of the table, or you can click on the Edit link next to each name and make changes for that item, and then click the Update Record button to save your changes, or click the Delete Chemical button to remove the chemical from the inventory. That is all there is to maintaining your inventory. Remember, you don't need to go in and update your records as you use your chemicals, only when you have emptied a chemical container and have discarded it. You also have the ability to view the chemical inventory of other rooms. You need to go through a similar process to request access, starting off by clicking the link labeled Request Permission to View a Room. Once you've been approved, you will only be able to view the chemical inventory in these rooms. This will be helpful if you share chemicals with other labs on campus. We hope this video has answered your questions about the chemical inventory system. However, if you have any other questions, please contact the Environmental Health and Safety Office. There is a link to their website at the top of each page of the chemical inventory system.